was gonna say something crazy.
Oh my god. Jesus, don't go killing my citizens!
Oh, what is happening? What is happening?
Oh no!
Are we having?
This is in fucking Monk City, bro.
That's how it was taught. That's how I grew up, bro, in the city.
What the hell? Don't blame me for your fucking violent crimes.
Our first presidential candidate, David Showtag, from the No Political Affiliations Party.
Hello. Hello, is this my side? Hello, everybody.
You can choose either side.
Either side.
Well, how are we all doing today?
I didn't know you were losing sleep over this debate, sir. Oh my goodness.
Well, oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
Well,
Hello. Are you for real? What is
We
this?
have a second political candidate
It's
from
the
after party.
It's me. Hello.
Mojima.
How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah.
we love you, Diddy.
What?
What?
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you guys are here because this wouldn't be possible without you.
Hello, welcome both our candidates to our first and probably, maybe only, presidential debate of this election cycle. I want to start off with your opening statements to the people. Who would like to go first?
I do.
Let's allow David to go first.
Hello, citizens of Monktopia. I come to you today as a political candidate. Not only that, but as a friend and as hopefully your leader. I understand a lot of the hardships we've faced recently, and I'm here to tell you that I'm here to fix it and moreover better it. I want to show you with this debate how capable I am of leading this country forward. Thank you.
Hello all. I come to you guys. I'm on my knees asking you to support me in helping make our community stronger. Monktopia is in desperate need of a change. There's just too much tragedy going around, and I hope to make the world a better place in the time I have. I know in the past we've had a rough start, but I would like to extend an olive branch as an apology. I really hope to get things done. I really hope to make it a more enjoyable time for you guys. And overall, I just want to work with you and be your friend.
Woo!
I just want to make sure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Hey, that clap is a lot louder than mine.
Speak.
Hook too.
Hi.
All right, we're gonna ask David. Are there any policy positions that could be important or relate to immigration to new cities?
When it comes to immigration, I see no problem with immigrants immigrating to either city whenever they please. I want to make that as easy as possible because immigration stimulates trade and it just stimulates societal enjoyment. And here is what my plan is. I understand people of Bunyanburg. They do not want to build a bridge from... Sorry, is it Monktopia or is it West? Is that place called Westman?
Westmoore.
Westmoore. I understand they do not want a bridge, and thus I want to create a stronger port between Westmoore and Bunyanburg to help increase the unity amongst these two cities, as well as increase immigration. But yeah, when it comes to immigration, I don't have much immigration policies.
What about you, Momojima?
I would like to start by speaking to the representatives of, the immigrating cities like Westmoore. I would love to talk with their representative and of Port Bunyan. I would actually really love to form a council or cabinet of sorts with them so we can make decisions to help better everybody. I also would like to implement a sanctuary city program in Dinkelberg to offer safe haven from dangerous Pokemon and just a place to live while you're staying if you want to live in our area. I just want to do the best to make everybody happy. I also would like to encourage exporting from other towns. I would love it if our economy could spread its roots to other people's economy, and we can all help each other out.
Sorry, we might have mixed up the question.
Ow.
Our next question is answered first by David. What will you do for Westmoore, the new city out west? You have 1 minute 30 seconds starting right now.
My first plan is very simple. I plan to do this with every city in the country. I plan to create Poke Centers that will help, heal hurt Pokemon. I plan to make them very well made. I plan to make them polished. I have heard very little about Westmoore, I'm afraid, as much. Unless that's the city that's been exploded a billion times. I know that's my homeboy, that's my home turf. I plan to create Poke Centers. I plan to create infrastructure where needed. I plan to fix any infrastructure that's been damaged. I plan to do this through contractors such as Soldrace. I plan to contract a lot of citizens from these cities to help stimulate the economy and help grow the economy while also growing the city in its resources. But yeah, I plan to just, for Westmoore, and not just for Westmoore, but for Monktopia, I want to stimulate the economy while also increasing infrastructure. And you know what? I want people to have strong Pokemon. So I also want to encourage Pokemon training.
Your thoughts on what you would do for Westmoore, Mimo. Your 1 minute 30 seconds start now.
So, as I previously stated, I would love to form a council of sorts with the representative of Westmoreland because I truly do want to see Westmoore flourish. I believe that it could be a great thing, and in an effort to, at the acceptance of the representative, I would love to expand our travel agencies and encourage tourism in Westmoore. I know you saw my blimp. That is actually a traveling blimp. I hope to start up a little sort of, I said it previously, a tour sort of thing. Because I hope they can make some money off of it, and we can make some money off of it, and we both get happy. I also had planned to, as I said, I guess we kind of covered it in the last topic where I talked about sanctuary cities and such. I guess I just concede my time then, because we kind of already discussed this.
Amazing. Another question for you, Mimo. What are you going to do about the Monk City damages, the holes from the exploding Pokemon?
I believe that it would not be fair to ask of you to fund something not caused by you. So I am willing to pay out of pocket in order to make our city beautiful again. Because just as much as it is your city, it's my city too. It's where I was born and raised. I do ask, however, that that you also pitch in, because I think if we all help each other, we all help each other. I also plan to beautify some of the homes that were damaged, maybe repurpose some of the homes into little stores or little exhibits to grow our culture. How long was that? I concede my time, I guess.
That was you had 30 seconds left. David, the same question. What are you going
to do? A minute might be better.
Damages. Your time starts now.
So, with the damages that have happened to New Monk City, I plan to hire, like I've said before, contractors to fix these holes. I plan to do it through people like Soldrace. I plan to start stimulate the economy and to create the economy that I plan with Relic Coin through these contractings, through these efforts to rebuild New Monk City. I plan to pay these contractors to not only fix any holes, but possibly rebuild and, industrialize New Monk City a bit. I don't want to take away from the culture, but I also want to advance our city forward while also stimulating the economy by giving a lot of the people of New Monk City these jobs. Because I understand, I've heard from many individuals how upset they are from the damages, many moving away from New Monk City due to these damages. So I believe that these same citizens would be more than willing to pitch in if it meant getting paid, but moreover, getting to see New Monk City be the pristine version we remember it as. Thank you.
Amazing. Poke and human healthcare. Where do you stand policy-wise? Your time starts now.
Policy-wise, I believe that these Pokemon did not ask to be hurt, so I believe they should not be charged for their injuries. I believe that we should free healthcare. I cannot stress enough how much I want to establish a free healthcare system. We're calling it Mimo Care.
He wants to spit on that thing. Sorry.
Okay, well, and when it comes to humans, however, while I believe that an ideal free healthcare for all would be great, we do need to get the economy running. So I hope to establish a sort of what's it called? A sort of dispensary pharmacy type situation, where we funded, of course, by the people. If you would like to if you sell potions and you want to open a pharmacy, we would more than encourage it, no matter where you come from. I hope to establish Poke centers everywhere, whether it's Dinkelberg, whether it's Monktopia, and I offer those up to Westmoore and Bunyanburg as well. A minute might be better if I have to say.
We'll do a minute.
Well, I actually have depth. I got depth.
We'll do a minute 20. David, Poke and human healthcare. Where do you stand policy-wise on this issue? Your time
I believe that Pokemon healthcare should be free. However, we need to understand the circumstances of which these Pokemon return and come to these centers. Some may only have one Pokemon slightly damaged or even fainted. Some may come with a whole Pokemon 5 full fainted. How can we allow a trainer like that to abuse their animals and not face punishment? I feel that it's only fair, and thus I'm not giving them jail time. I'm giving them a negligence fee. The more Pokemon that have fainted, and moreover, the more Pokemon that have fainted due to a negligent trainer will result in fines. And when it comes to healthcare, I personally believe that when it comes to government-provided healthcare, it will be 100% free. Any potions, any berries, anything given by the government, I want to be free. However, I do believe in the people's choice to a private market, and I do believe in the people's ability to sell potions at the price they deem desirable.
Mimo, question for you.
Okay.
How do you plan to stimulate Monktopia commerce? Your time starts now.
So I plan to, as I said previously, establish dispensaries. I mostly want to keep the government hands off when it comes to economy, because I believe that once the government starts to interfere in your economy, it can only lead to certain corruptions, and because certain people, will always want to fill their pockets more than help their people. But I would like to establish tournaments as a way for somebody, who might necessarily, not have an easy way to make money. They can always win their money, which is why I also want to establish gambling. I want to establish gambling laws, because I know everybody loves to gamble. I want to create jobs. I want to have. Obviously, I'm gonna have, factories and such running, and people are gonna need to work there. So, I hope to pay those people. I will also be rolling out Pokeball stimmies. Every week, we will be paying a certain amount from the Pokeball factories I plan to build, that will provide free Pokeballs every week.
Your time is
As
up.
well. Yep, that's all I had to say.
David, how do you plan to stimulate the Monktopia commerce? Your time starts now.
Well, you need to look at what Monktopia has. New Monksity, it is a farming beauty. So I plan to use farming and sell food, sell grain. I also plan, as well with Mimo said, I believe that we should integrate the Pokemon into our culture, into our government, and I believe that Pokemon tournaments should be held to allow some individuals that may not have the currency to obtain said currency. I also plan to give people jobs through these contractors, as I've said before, through the rebuilding of New Monk City, as well as just the expansion of Westmoore and Bunyanburg. I plan to give money to these contractors to help create our beautiful, beautiful country. And I also, and not only that, but it gives them jobs. So I plan to give jobs through contracting. I plan to do it through farming. I think Bunyanburg, it only makes sense to do fishing as well as trading, sea trading. And I believe, as well as building poke centers, people are going to be able to pay the negligence fee. People are going to have to work at these poke centers. I plan to get the economy going through building and rebuilding. Thank you.
Our final question for you, David. What can you provide specifically that your opponent cannot? Your time starts now.
I may not have the resources that my opponent has, but I have the drive, the leadership, and the assertiveness that this country needs to be led into an economic prosperity period. My opponent, liked to deem me aggressive and violent. I want to strengthen myself. I have fought all these trainers, not because of my desire for violence, or just because I felt the urge. I have wanted to strengthen my Pokemon because since I was born in New Monk City, since I saw that mime carry me, I knew something, and I knew that Pokemon mattered the most. And I've given my soul to these Pokemon, and I want to do the same to this country. I have the strongest Pokemon in the country, and I plan to use these Pokemon to show a sign of our strength as a nation. And not only that, but to protect our nation.
Your time is up. Mimo, what can you provide specifically that your opponent cannot? Your time starts now.
Listen, so while my opponent is right, I do not have that sort of assertiveness. And by the way, I would like to apologize to him because I was horribly misquoted. I once never called him aggressive or violent. I complimented him. In a interview, I called him assertive, and I said that I lacked that assertiveness. But in the same way, I believe that we do not need that assertiveness because we're ideally living in a peaceful city, and I hope to only have nothing but the kindest of words to say to my fellow leaders of Port Bunyan and of Westmoore. So, and I also believe that he lacks. I believe that he lacks. I don't want to say conviction, but I will say I believe he lacks the follow through to go through with all of his plans. Whereas I will really commit to helping you flourish. Because that's all I want at the end of the day. Is to see it.
He spits on that
David,
thing!
I even want to see David flourish. I want to see him be the very best, like no one ever was.
Wow.
That was pretty good. That's
fire.
Wow, your time is up. Thank you very much. We are actually going to take questions from the crowd. We're going to take 2 questions. Does anyone have questions?
Oh. Yeah, I do.
Oh yes, my mom. To who though? To who?
Actually, yeah. So let's go you, David. I got. Do you think your opponent's policies can possibly be applied if you're president?
Of course, I think before this all happened, before that attack that attacked him at his house, and before he decided to run, he was planning to be my vice. So, and I, as much as I dislike some of his policies, I do think some of them are valid. Like I said in one of my other things, I think the Pokemon trainer battles should be implemented. I think, they matter to the culture, and I think we should have that culture in our government. So I do think that some of his laws will be applied, and he will be my vice if I were to win. And I do see him as a intelligent individual, and I would like to pick through his brain to see some of his policies along with mine if I were to win.
Mimo, you have 1 minute to respond to what he said.
So what's it called? I wasn't really listening to what he said, but I do think I do really appreciate all the buttering up you do. And I believe that while I do believe that you could make this country just as great as I could, uh, I feel that it could be better implemented if I were making the direct decisions. Uh, to to sort of keep some of your more right wing, economic heavy ideas in check. Um,
He says that he likes to claim this, but wanted to privatize the copper. He wanted to
Um,
privatize the stacks of
I
copper.
my candidate my see, this is the problem I have with my opponent, is that he only sees the black and white. I can see the gray in everybody. I do admit I was at one point planning to privatize all that I owned, but as I have said in multiple interviews before,
Oh, unfortunately,
ooh,
your time is up.
Yes, but
Do we have a question for Mimo?
I got another one.
Food on
I
that
got,
thing.
I got, I got another one. Could you go into specifics about your plans for your copper factory and how it will benefit the people?
So, I actually plan to establish first and foremost an iron factory because I have learned through my trade school that I went to that you can turn iron into copper. So, in an effort to to provide free Pokeballs, I'm going to establish an iron factory, a copper factory, I'm going to work with possibly some farmers to establish a fruit factory that can all be in conjunction to make Pokeballs.
I like the sound of that.
And
Wait, I have a question.
I'll take the credit.
Is there any possibility of Master Balls being available to us?
That's ooh.
So this is the big question I was hoping. While I do believe that Master Balls are not, in the possibility currently, I would hope to definitely see Ultra Balls being produced, in conjunction with Port Bunyan, possibly at a reduced rate obviously at the benefit of Port Bunyan. They would get returns for they're doing. But I'm sorry to say, Master Balls just don't seem like they're going to be in the cards for us at this moment. But hopefully soon.
David, you have 1 minute to respond to what he said.
I would like to state this, that his economic plans do seem very appealing. These factories of any type, anywhere. And I would love to see these be implemented. However, you need to I think people are failing to understand that this is a long-term project he's looking for. You cannot stimulate the economy with a factory that isn't built. And that is why, but you can stimulate the economy with contractors fixing New Monk City. He can promise you a factory months, weeks from now. I can promise you a working economy the second I am sworn into office.
I promise it in production by the end of the week.
You see, in production, he claims he's gonna get you all these Pokeballs, but it's gonna take time. We build these Poke Centers, we rebuild these holes, we fix New Mug City, we all get paid. We all
Your time
stimulate.
is up, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
Huck shua.
We are now going to enter our 4-minute freestyle segment of the debate. You two will have a moment to say anything you want to each other. Convince us to vote for you and your party, or no party affiliation.
Give me a minute.
Well, he's ran off.
Let me ask you.
I'm conceding some time to David.
Let me ask you. Let me ask the citizens that were there on the tragedy that occurred at Mimo's house. Why did he start running for president? Why? He did not choose to run because of some interest that he shares with you people. He is with the people. He is not running because he wants to better. He is running because he is hurt. And I understand that hurt. What I did was wrong, and it's inexcusable. and my policies plan to prevent that from happening again. But you cannot allow a decision like that to drive a man to lead the country. You cannot allow a man driven by emotion to finally care for the people and to finally want to work for you. He had to experience what we've been experiencing the whole time. He didn't want to let you guys in a synagogue for free, for God's sakes. He wanted to put up a sign that said, pay to go to heaven. This man claims that he is this saint, that he's seen the way. But how can we trust that when he's proven it in other ways? Before this candidate, before this happened,
the black and white
many people
issue
called him J.D. Vance. The J.D. Vance of Monktopia. And you expect me to sit by and allow him to sweet talk you? I understand that the factories are very intriguing, and I would love for factories to be implemented, but they cannot be implemented right now. And I need the citizens to understand that with where we are right now, we move faster, we move better with me.
Listen, I think this is the biggest problem I have with my candidate, is that he is my opponent, is that he will only see black and white. He will only see you for what you were and for what you... He refuses to look past your incidents. He does not believe in a rehabilitation of a man. Yes, I did originally tell him I would run against him out of anger, but in that anger, I found Yahweh. I sought out my own religion. Every day of my life, I had gone to my synagogue. But for the first time in my life, I experienced my synagogue, and I was revealed a truth that we do not prosper by being by his ways. The only way we can truly...
My ways have not yet been implemented.
...is by building our community together. If we are not trusting in each other, if ignorant men like him are allowed to control over the government, total control over the government, I can only see bad things happening. Because if you ask anybody around, who causes the most terrorist attacks, you would get most likely a resemblance. David. He has caused almost every single, and I have pictures. I've had reports of about maybe 5 to 6 different explosions caused by him. By reports, reportedly, could be him alone. Could be other people, but most people are willing to believe it's him. And I don't think I could trust a city run by him.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's on.
Jeremy, I saw you get in it.
Why'd you turn that off?
It was an accident. It's because a seagull.
Free blimp ride on me after this.
Whoa!
It's over. Your time is done. Closing statements.
I wish I could turn that off.
I have a few.
Because David said his opening.
I would just like to say a few things I came up with. Listen, if I win, I'll work with David and I know I've wronged you guys. So if I win, I will work with David to put your trust into me, because I hope to see Pokeballs in every pocket, food in every belly, and safety in every home. And I ask, please, if you see a Voltorb or a potential terrorist, forfeit. It's not worth it. Thank you. I concede all of my time to have some whimsical fun.
Closing statement from David.
My opponent here is a very, very great opponent, man, and I love it. But he is trying to paint me in a negative light. You have a lot of people, including I, love Pokemon, right? We all love Pokemon. Let me ask you here, what do you want your Pokemon to be, first and foremost? Strong. You want your Pokemon strong. I made mistakes, and I hurt people through those mistakes. But I understand said mistakes, and more importantly, the explosions have been lessened. And further off, he's right. You know, Voltorbs and things as such should be ran away from. But trainers, I'm sorry. I believe that people have a right to trainer battles. They have a right to be able to train their Pokemon and fight their Pokemon and use the Pokemon as God intended. Of course, now I'm not saying they should fight trainers with Voltorbs. I'm not. They should never. If you see a trainer with a terrorist Pokemon, forfeit and kill.
I agree with that.
I believe
That's all facts.
But I believe that you should still be able to have that fight with that trainer. Because what is the number one right in the law of the land, ladies and gentlemen? It is to solve any dispute through Pokemon battle. And I am just exercising my rights. And I believe you do.
Your time is just about over.
About? So let me finish.
It's over.
Oh, you yapper.
Love this debate, boys. You both did very wonderful. This is going to show up on BNN, Bunyan National News Network.
Hey, David, whimsy time.
Thank you.
Let him go.